battery. You can hot swap the battery without rebooting the orb. But also, as we will see a little bit later in the process, the orb and some of its sensors use infrared. And for that, there are infrared LEDs that pulse in order to sort of illuminate the face of the person signing up with the orb. Those capacitors smooth out the current draw used by those LEDs, because otherwise the high current draw cause voltage droop and the orb would reboot. So now he's going to be removing some of the frame for the front sensor array. A few other things we can see here. From the back here, on the left side, we'll actually see the rear of the iris camera. The camera that takes the photos of the irises is actually all the way over here, the sensor's back here, and a little bit further in the process, we will see the mirror system that allows that iris camera to point at one iris and then the other iris of the user while they're verifying. We also get a much better view of that fan at the top now. It's much bigger than I expected it to be when I first looked inside the orb. But it's necessary to keep everything cool. You may also see a much smaller lithium battery at the back here of the front camera system. That powers some of the orb's security mechanisms, so even when it's not connected to power or battery isn't present, it can still ensure that the orb is not being tampered with in any way. I will say, before you get anywhere near this level of disassembling the orb, it will no longer be functional. So, as he carefully removes some of the connectors for the sensors at the front, in just a moment we should see the front camera system taken out of the orb. And then there will be quite a bit more to talk about at that point as more of the orb is revealed. So this assembly houses all of the sensors that the orb uses during the verification process. We'll open it up a bit more later, but there are 5 sensors in total. So there's the iris camera, which, as I said, is actually this camera sensor here with a completely custom lens here. It's very high zoom. It can focus down to a very, very fine plane to take a very clear photo of the iris. This is necessary to have enough entropy to determine uniqueness at the scale of billions of people. And there's a mirror over here and a gimbaled mirror that moves. So when you're verifying with the orb, you may see that this gold mirror you look at right in the center moves around. I find it absolutely fascinating. And then all the other sensors are contained within this small portion down here. There's a wide-angle camera, not too dissimilar from like a webcam on a laptop that can see your whole face. That helps the orb see that it's actually a human and tells the iris camera where to point in order to take the photos of the irises during the verification. Additionally, there is a thermal camera, right, making sure that you are a living person and not like a mannequin head. There is a depth sensor to determine how far away from the orb you are, and a 2D time of flight sensor to make sure that your face is the shape that a face should be and not like a flat photo of a human.